out, because there's only a couple of reasons that people get together and just have to come and help an animal, and that's reduced adoption fees and the E word, which is euthanasia. So it's either we send out a huge euthanasia list and everybody's in an uproar, or we do reduced fee adoptions so that we could get people in the door to look for their next family friend.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to our Pinal podcast. I'm here with Director Michael, who you know, and a new special guest, Officer Murphy. Officer Murphy, if you want to introduce yourself.
I'm Officer Murphy, ACO2 and Community Outreach.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been here?
Oh, I've been at the county for 11 years here at Animal Control.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And today we're going to talk about common animal control myths. Just because we're seeing a lot of comments on our social media about waived adoptions, which we try to do to promote to get animals out of here so people don't go by. They have the pros and cons of like at least getting a free animal here at the shelter. So if you kind of want to take over.
Yeah, so we are really full of animals. We haven't exactly been empty any time in the last couple of years since COVID, but it seems like whenever we do reduced adoptions, or we're walking through the kennels, and I'm the director, so I said, why don't we just do $5 adoptions to try to move some animals out? Because there's only a couple of reasons that people get together and just have to come and help an animal, and that's reduced adoption fees and the E word, which is euthanasia. If somebody thinks a dog's going to be euthanized, they'll rally the troops and get that one dog. But then what about the other 199 dogs that are here? So that's the only way that we could get people to come in and even look at our animals. And it also doesn't help that we're in the middle of nowhere and nobody even knows that we exist. So we try to do reduced adoptions to try to motivate people to come in and get that family pet that they've been asking, they've been thinking about.
Especially since you can go on Craigslist, you can go anywhere on the internet and look up free animals and get a free animal. You have no idea where it's coming from.
There's
it's
a
not
rehoming fee.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not vaccinated. It's not spayed or neutered
Right.
or anything. So for a shelter to do it, all of our pets are microchipped. Adopters are all put in the system. So a lot of people think, well, what if that animal gets used as a bait dog?
Have you ever had a case with a bait dog?
I have not. I get told that it's bait dogs all the time. Whenever an animal's injured, has anything going on, everybody believes that it's bait dog, it's dog fighting. Realistically, through our trainings and through actual cases and actually being in the field and seeing these things, dog fighting is extremely rare. It's actually much more in the more urban city areas, done by gangs, those type of things. We really don't see it much out here. We see a lot of people thinking it is, but realistically, we have coyotes. There are packs of feral dogs in different areas that will attack a random roaming dog, especially if it's not a dog-friendly dog that gets out of its yard.
Right.
So 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to say never, but it's dogs that get out and get attacked by coyotes, wildlife, stray dogs, those type of situations.
I think especially for our county specifically, since, we're real rural out here, we're not like the big cities where they have massive populations and stuff. They may see dog fighting dogs, not as common as people think, but here, I've never seen it in my 7 years of being here.
There's a case that we did do on cockfighting, and I do believe they are dog fighting because I read the many thousands of text messages and there was dog stuff on there. But there was no proof of it. Cockfighting, that's a different story, but not dog fighting. That wasn't proven there.
And the sad reality about bait dogs is you don't find them.
No, they're not going to make it.
Yeah.
And they don't release them. Also, you're going to have idiots that my dog's tougher than your dog, blah, 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 and they have a dog fight. That's gonna happen no matter if they spent $10,000 on the dog or got the dog for free. Idiots are gonna be idiots and they're gonna do idiot things.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So at least with a shelter doing free adoptions, we have all of our adopters put in a database. They have to show proof of identification. There's microchips that go back to them. So
and spaying and neutering is a huge thing because even when you do look at some of the large dog fighting cases from cities and things like that, they're always non-fixed dogs. it's much harder to get an altered animal to fight. So you're not, because we're altering our dogs before they're going out, you have a very low ability to even get the dogs to fight.
Right.
That's another thing.
Yeah, that's just
cats, black cats.
Black cats. Ooh, yeah, I remember one time we did a black cat special, like, for Halloween, and
we got
a cat advocate almost came in here and was very upset with me. Well, that's a myth, too. People are not going to adopt black cats because they want to, like, do satanic rituals on them, and I'm not saying it never happens. I'm just saying we have never come across that in our careers, you know.
Well, and through some of the training that we did with the National Animal Control Association, we went through and learned about ritualistic animal sacrifice and Satanism as a religion. In that, it showed us the commandments from the Church of Satan, which say, do not hurt children or animals. So it's actively against their religion to hurt animals.
Right. That's in the training that we did with the NACA and with Humane Society of the United States. Yeah.
So yeah, it's actually a full-on myth.
Yeah. So that's, you know, there's a couple things. So just because we do reduced adoptions, we're doing it because we are so overwhelmed with animals. The only way that we can get them to leave is if people are like, oh, there's going to be free adoptions. I'll go there and see if I can find a dog that I want. And a lot of people get upset because they think if you can't afford an adoption fee, then you won't be able to afford the medical. Well,
but the research doesn't back that.
The research does not back that up.
Pima Animal Care
Center
made a really good post about what we're talking about here. If you want to go check out their page and check it out, they have links to articles with actual research on the thing, research done by Maddie's Fun, which they're a great organization. So if you wanted to read some articles up on it, you can go check out their post. But yeah, I mean, we see people that make money neglect their animals. We see people that, you know, are less fortunate, take really good care of their animals.
Yep.
So
yeah, it doesn't really matter on the fee of the adoptions. And, you know, a lot of rescue organizations, they do charge a little bit more, but that's because they're fully invested in that animal more so than, say, we are, because we are fortunate enough to have rescues pull the animals from us and take on the medical, since we don't have full-time veterinarians. But, you know, if we had to do all that, there would be a lot less animals leaving because we don't have that kind of budget. But, I mean, so it's either we send out a huge euthanasia list and everybody's in an uproar, or we do reduced fee adoptions so that we could get people in the door to look for their next family friend. And those are really the only two options. And I would love to hear anybody's ideas on how we can get some animals out of here, because we are overloading. It's not just us, it's everybody. And now other organizations that have been no-kill for years and years are faced with the sad reality that they have to actually put out euthanasia lists now, because we can't control what's happening out there, you know, in society with their pets. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I lost my train of thought. I'm going to have to cut this part out.
But I mean, it also, you know, the whole fact that you could go to a pet store, like in the mall, and you could put it on a credit card, your dog or your cat or whatever you're going to buy. It's usually puppies.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't mean that you're going to get a dog that's not sick or needs vet care, or, you know, are you going to be able to afford the vet care after you just like spent $3,000 on, you know, the payment plan? And those dogs are not altered. So people usually buy them because they want to breed them so they can make money. And that's really unfair to municipal shelters, because we get stuck with the inbred, like, problem children of those dogs, you know. So unfortunately, people think they're going to make a lot of money off of being a backyard breeder, and it just doesn't work out that way. Dogs can get parvo, they get sick, they, you know, and so, and really it is illegal to breed your dogs if you don't have a kennel permit with us, and we come across it every day.
Well, and how many people end up surrendering their breeder dogs because they can't even sell the puppies anymore? We've had a few English bulldogs and other
Basset Hounds,
high, like, wanted breeds that are coming in, parents, puppies, because they're not being able to find homes for them either.
And another myth is that, like we have a lot of pit bulls. I'm sorry, we do. it's life. Pit bulls and chihuahuas. The two breeds nobody wants.
Right.
You know?
So that's a true myth, is what
That
you're
is
saying.
not a myth. That is true. They don't want pit bulls or chihuahuas. Well,
And-
I want a small dog, but not a chihuahua.
And that's
Nice.
because of backyard breeders. A couple of years ago, it was the trend to go get you a blue nose pit bull, breed them, sell them for a
Yep.
couple $100. The
Yep.
red nose, which aren't breeds, by the way.
No.
Those aren't breeds. And now they're all here, and they're all like mixed genetics. Don't know where they came from, their history
Yep.
and whatnot. And we're the ones that have to be faced with dealing with the overpopulation here and getting them into safe homes. And waiving fees just helps us to try and find homes. Like, we understand people's concerns of, like, you get fed that on the internet. We know when they say, like, oh, you're giving away free animals, they're going to be used for bait dogs, all that stuff. We understand your concerns, but just know we all really care about our animals, and we try really hard to get them into good homes. And if we had concerns about someone coming in and they were sketchy, we have the right to deny adoptions. But
Right.
We also can look up histories of animal abuse at different areas with names, addresses, phone numbers. If we've had issues with them in the past of them neglecting their dogs or things like that, it's in our system because we're the ones that handle that.
yeah.
So we also know to not adopt to those people and have a blacklist of people who aren't allowed to adopt
Right.
animals because they don't treat them well.
Right. We don't condone getting an animal and having it be a lawn ornament. You know.
Yeah, we don't
We
like
do
our animals
not
on
like our
tie-outs. We
animals
even
on
have like
tie-outs.
stipulations in our contracts about tie-outs and
Yep.
stuff. And I mean, we're not gonna deny these animals getting good homes when we do free adoptions, just for the like tiny percent of maybe there's a case of a bait dog somewhere out in the country.
Right.
Especially here in Pinal County, it's just not common. We don't see it. We're just trying to find the animals good homes.
Mm-hmm.
Just have faith in us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's another myth that we were talking, Randy, I was an officer, as you guys know, if you've listened to the podcast back in the day, and we were talking about, before coming in here, we were talking about things that are said to us in the field. Like yesterday, what did they tell you?
Get a real job.
Get a real job. Go get a real job. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you even do?
Yeah.
Nothing.
So, and then you hear stuff like, yeah, okay, wannabe cop, you know,
Right, yeah.
secure over or glorified.
Do you want to be a cop,
security
Randy? Is
Not
that your
even
intent?
a little bit.
guard,
No.
or rent a cop or whatever. Nobody has respect for animal control officers. You know,
Yeah.
dog
Yes.
catcher. You just want to.
Oh, you
Take
just
my
want,
animal.
you just
Yeah.
want to bully and harass me. It's the government harassing
You guys
me.
are in it for the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like, what money?
We don't make any money. What do you mean? We do free adoption.
Yeah, I know. I was
Correct,
gonna
yeah.
say,
There
and
isn't
it
any
costs
money.
us to get them fixed. So
Yeah,
In case you didn't know,
Really? Yeah.
we
It's-
do have to pay for the animals' food and their care while they're here.
and their
then we-
vaccines
and
their
their spay and
ulcer,
neuter, yeah.
and any medical that might go with it.
So we're really making no money there when it comes to
And you know,
adoptions.
I would love to hear from the public and ask them, like, what do you do in a situation like we're in, where we have like so many animals here, and some of them have been really long stays, and like, what would you do to get the animals out of here? Because there's people that just go, oh, I can empty your shelter in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah,
How?
we've had those.
Yeah,
We've
right.
We've
had
had
those.
those people say, oh, I can empty your shelter in 2 weeks. And I'm
Like,
thinking,
tell us
really?
how. We want to
How?
know.
I'm curious. How can you do that? Because not all of the animals we have here are kid friendly, dog friendly, cat friendly. You know, some of them have those stipulations where they need a unicorn,
Right.
and there's not very many unicorns out there.
No, and I don't know if you've gone over this already, but a unicorn is somebody who, one person lives by themselves, no other animals, just wants one dog for companionship. If
Doesn't
that
have any visitors.
doesn't have a lot of
Yeah.
visitors, or is willing to put their dog away when
Yeah.
visitors come over,
Right.
which
Or crate their
Crate,
dog, which
yes.
I'm sorry, but if you're against crating, you're setting that pet up for failure.
yes,
Because I even was against crating until I got my dog Tyson, and now he loves his kennel. That's his safe place. You know, he goes in there and lays down, and he likes it. But if you're not willing to crate,
Yeah, I had my 3 bully mutts. I didn't believe in crates until I got my little dachshund. So yeah, he uses the crate.
Well, and it's, I take home feral dogs a
Yep,
lot. Everybody
yep.
kind of knows that here. But without crates, I wouldn't be able to do it.
No.
Yeah.
Kiko, she's a little healer, full feral dog. Tried to bite a lot of people. But she has to be in her crate when I'm gone, or when people come over or anything like that. It
Right.
has to be separated, or
Right.
else she would bite somebody. She'd be in all kinds of trouble.
Yep. And you know, you think, oh, I feel so bad. I have to go to work all day. It's okay.
This dog loves her crate. The
Yeah.
second the door opens of the dog room, she's laying in her crate, even if the door's wide open. She doesn't want to come back out.
Yeah.
And then we do have our behavior cases where we do need like unicorns, but we also have so many like friendly, like get along with other dogs, do great meeting children, and we're having trouble getting them out too. And that's part of the reason why we're doing waived adoptions also. And
one thing is we have tried is paying people to take a dog, for foster. We offered to pay a $50 gift card if they take them out for 2 weeks, or, and then that's another thing is people get all excited about free adoptions, and then they get a dog and then they bring it back the next day, or they bring it back in 2 days. And you have to really understand, you need to be committed. It can't just be a off the cuff decision. Oh, it's free adoptions, let's go look. And then you leave with a dog and it tears up your couch and now you're mad at us.
Yeah. The 3 rule was the 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months for them to like fully decompress.
Yeah, I mean, they're living in a shelter environment. They don't know what it's like to be in a home. And some of these dogs lived on a tie-out their whole life, like PCACC, so they don't know.
So does that mean that dog deserves to be euthanized because it lived in a tie-out its entire life?
Right.
Because people
need someone, someone to give it patience.
I love when people are like, "Is this dog potty trained?" And I'm just like, I have no idea.
It's a feral dog. We're like, this dog's been living with a feral pack of animals for like.
It doesn't walk on leash. I don't know if it's potty trained. Let's just say no. Let's just assume no. So it's and I understand those are questions that seem logical. Is it potty trained? Is it this? Is it that? Knows how to sit, stay? Maybe. But we just get stray dogs, and a lot of times the owner surrenders that we do get, they don't tell us the truth. There's been so many that I feel like they're beefing up the whole emergency of bad. That they have to get rid of this animal. Like, I'll never forget, just a few weeks ago, there was somebody that surrendered a dog, and the girl was asking him, do you like dogs? Does it like dogs? Does it like cats? No. Everything was no.
Guess what?
And guess what? It was a rock star in playgroup, and it went to a home with kids. So
a lot of times I think they're trying to alleviate their own guilt.
Correct.
Like, I feel bad, so it's got to be the dog's evil, and I'm great, and that's why it's not working.
Right.
But I mean, look at my white Willow. I have a dog named Willow. She came in as an owner surrender euthanasia for aggression. The reality is, when you pet her, she growls because she's excited. And that's literally why they wanted to euthanize her.
And you have Greta still, right?
Yes.
Woo!
Well, Greta is the mean one, but she's a Chihuahua, so she's not a danger to society.
That's your demon dog right there, Greta. Wow.
She's in responsible hands. She's not going to let Greta out and like...
No, and she is 5 pounds.
Yeah.
So she's not going to terrorize much. But yeah, she's, again, a crated dog who loves her little crate.
One other myth, I think, is something that we were talking about too, is that we can't just remove an animal from a property. We can't. We said it in the last podcast, but everybody's like, why don't you just take it? Well, we can't just take it, or why do we give people their dogs back? Like, we just got a dog in a few days ago. You brought it in.
Yep, it was mine.
And it was beat up bad. And the owner came the next day. Now, people are upset because he got his dog back. But we cannot deny somebody who's willing to do what needs to be done, their dog.
We can follow up and we can check on that dog, and if they're not meeting what they were supposed to, then a citation goes out. But it takes a lot to be able to take someone's dog. It has to go through courts and judges.
Realistically, there's 3 ways. Either we get permission to take that dog, and then we can take it, with the person right there willing to sign paperwork for us to take it, because that's another one. It can't be over the phone. We have to have enough evidence and to write a search warrant to go out and physically remove the animal against the owner's wishes. And the third one is imminent danger. If we believe that if I leave to write a search warrant and come back, that dog will be dead by the time I come back, then I can remove it, and I have to go straight to the vet. I have to have a vet say, yep, this dog would have died, or else I have to go back with my tail between my legs and be, sorry, I took your dog, and give it back.
Right.
So those are really the only ways we can actually just take a dog on site.
And years ago, we had a case, because I had a meltdown yesterday when I was going through some paperwork, and I cleared out everything. And I remember this case we had years and years ago before I was the director, but I was working here, and we held on to that woman's animals for like a year, and we lost the case, and we had to give her animals back.
Wow.
So that was just all bad.
Yes.
So I mean,
Remember, laws aren't on our side either. It's a
No.
bunch of animal lovers who work here.
Right.
But change has to start from the top if
Mhm.
you really want to see like movement in like
Right.
laws and
Right.
stuff. Because I saw, what was it? I saw something. Oh, it was on a like community page talking about like, well, animal control needs to come take these people's dogs because they're vicious. No, we can't do that. And they're like, well, it's against the law for this. So it's against the law for the animal to not be on leash. So we should be able to go to the home and take the dog. And it's like, that's not really how that works. And if you really want laws to have some bite into them, you've got to start at the top.
right. And animal laws do not have any teeth at all.
No.
So yeah, that's where the problem is, you know. So
It doesn't start with us. We can't go and be like, hey, we're changing the laws.
Right.
So that has to be community.
And it is one of the hardest parts of this job. We get asked a lot. What's the hardest part of your job? Being out in the field. I mean, one of them's obviously getting screamed at, cussed at, and threatened. But the other one is really seeing dogs in situations we don't like seeing them. They're not good for the dog. They're not beneficial. We don't like it. And not being able to take the dog because technically it has shelter and water and shade.
Yeah.
And is at a decent health or weight. But yeah, it's hard for us to see those cases and not be able to take the dogs with us.
but they love their dogs.
Right. They love them.
I love my
Yeah.
dog.
The best we can try and do is educate them and
Yeah.
hope they'll listen with open ears.
And it's a pretty frustrating thing, you know.
Yeah.
It really is, because people will just sit there and nod.
Yes.
Oh, really? I have to have shade? Okay.
I mean,
okay,
and it's like
yeah,
a
yeah,
generational thing. Like,
Yeah.
I grew up in a family where we had backyard dogs, and, you know, I was kind of like that break in that.
Right.
Everyone has their indoor dogs now.
Right.
Everyone, like, spoils their dogs. My sister didn't like dogs, and now she has, like, the most spoiled, like, little foofy dogs, and...
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Right.
It's how people are brought up, but, like, when we're talking to you and we're trying to, like, open your mind to
Yeah.
better care for a living creature, just
Right.
Well, and
be
dogs
open
are
to hearing it.
Dogs are pack animals. They're not
Yeah.
supposed to live by themselves on a chain or on a
chain.
tie out or in a yard and you see you once a day when you come or go. I mean, that's not right for this
Right.
dog. But the laws don't support that.
Right.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, technically, dogs are still seen as property in
Yes.
Right.
laws.
In
So
the state.
Yep. Yeah. So
I think that
I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Except we have our spring festival coming up this
Yes.
month.
Oh, yeah.
It's something new we're gonna try. It's during the fair.
the county fair,
The county fair.
it's March 17th and 18th. I may have talked about it the last one. Oh, yeah, because of free microchips. So if you need your pets to come get microchipped, we're doing free microchips on the 17th and the 18th. The Pinal County Fair is going to be going on next door, so maybe you can stop by the county fair and then come visit us. We're going to have a lot of fun for the kids. Bounce house,
Games,
petting zoo,
food truck.
vendors, a bunch of
yeah.
like local businesses.
Oh, the
So-
canine.
the
A
canine.
canine
No,
officers.
they just canceled today.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I know. Maybe next
That was
time.
the only reason I was coming.
Wow. So
No.
if you want to come out and support your
What
local
are the adoption
shelter,
fees those days?
waived.
Waived.
It's
Oh,
waived.
uh-oh.
So
Yeah.
I know.
Comes all the hate mail.
Here
Yeah.
comes all the hate mail. Hopefully you've listened to this podcast and can see where we're coming from. I mean, if you guys have ideas on want to help your
Please.
local shelter,
Yes.
please, you can contact us. I mean, you can come visit us. I mean, we're doing everything we can to try to get animals out. Like she said, we have our foster incentive program where we're trying to pay people to, like, foster a pet. Like, we have so many animals that are dog-friendly, kid-friendly out here that you can come meet. I'll probably just include a clip of Playgroup today, which was massive.
Massive. I think there was like 40-some dogs in
Yeah,
there.
it
or
was
something.
massive.
Crazy.
Lots of dogs. So,
Yeah. And really nothing even happened, which was really kind of a trip.
Yeah.
There was just a few that are like, "Ah, rah, rah, get away from me."
communicating, like, hey,
Yeah,
get away from
Get
me.
away from
Yeah.
me. You're in my space.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
So
come visit us. Shoot us a message. Email what you want to hear. Bye.
Bye, everybody.